I'm going to make a statement right now, and I know that it's just my opinion, but I've got a forum, and I'm going to express this opinion. Crack is bad. You should not smoke crack. You should not teach your 5-year-old to smoke crack. You should not be gainfully employed as a child care worker and smoke crack. Smoking crack is bad for you. If you smoke crack, you should quit. My 2 cents worth. Open phones next hour. Pliska in Portland. Hey, clones, get off Paul Hamm's voice. Signed, Joe in the OC. All right, then. We talked about the Cubs. We talked about the White Sox. We talked about Team USA averting a disaster and winning. I talked about Esteban Loaiza. Larry Boa. Now it appears my man Larry Boa might not make it to the end of the season. First, it seemed that there was no way he'd make it. Then they finished off a recent West Coast roadie on a strong note, and he looked safe. But judging from what his boss, GM Ed Wade, said yesterday, it now appears that Boa is not going to survive the season. When asked about Boa, Wade declined to give him an endorsement, saying only, quote, he's the manager. Of course, that's translated as he's fired. When told that that comment can be interpreted many ways, Wade replied, interpret it any way you want. Man, this guy's the ultimate yo-yo. He's in, he's out. He's in, he's out. He's fired, he's safe. He's in, he's out. Said it before, I'll say it again. When he is out, he's taking a few guys with him. Larry Boa. Dear Jim, that mom smoking crack with her kids makes me sick. What a horrible parent. Sincerely, the mom who stripped for her kids. A mother stripping for her son and friends is like taking them down the street to Baskin Robbins as compared to giving a kid crack. Now, apparently Darren Dreifort, the Darren Dreifort syndrome, DDS, is still floating around Dodger Stadium. He might be out for the year. He might be getting knee surgery. And he may not throw another pitch, but that doesn't mean that he's not still costing them games. Clearly, he has infected Eric Gagne. Dreifort is like the carrier of a virus that infects everybody around him. He's like that little monkey from Outbreak. Everywhere he goes, people start giving up home runs, 3-run doubles, and giving up 4 runs in the 9th. Eric Gagne was touched up last night for 4 in the top of the 9th, and Florida came back on LA 6-4. It was the first time in 152 games that the Dodgers have led after 8 innings and not closed the deal. And I think there's only one logical explanation for that. That being, Dreifort has infected Gagne. The rest of the bullpen, hell, the rest of the team shouldn't be wearing Dodger blue. They should put on those giant yellow plastic clean suits that Dustin Hoffman and Cuba Gooding wore in that movie. Because that's what they need. And while it may have only been 1 loss, it was pretty embarrassing. Paul LaDuca drew a tough walk and eventually scored on Lenny Harris's bases loaded double. And Guillermo Mota, let me check myself right there. I made the cardinal sin, or committed the cardinal sin, of forgetting Mark Mota.
Don't forget Mark Mota.
He won his 16th last night, and I did not mention it in the open. Do you know why? Because I forgot Mark Mota.
Don't forget Mark Mota.
How do you forget Mark Mota? He won his 16th. I promise that I will never, ever again forget Mark Mota.
Don't forget Mark Mota.
He leads the majors with 16 wins. So LaDuca draws a tough walk, comes around to score on Harris's bases loaded double. Guillermo Mota earned the win. Oops. I guess they do miss those guys. I don't know that a Dodger catcher has gotten a single base hit since they made that deal. I do know that Brad Penny went on the DL. I do know that Darren Dreifort went down for the year. And I do know that whatever disease that he's carrying around, he passed along to Eric Gagne. I do know all that. But it was a good deal. Steve Finley's done great. I'll grant you that. Finley has been playing great. And Gagne had a bad night. It happens. Not very often, but it does happen. The guy got hit. I would imagine the Dodgers will take him getting knocked around once every 2 summers or so. That being said, everybody around there is going to start to grip it a little. The Giants are now 5 back. LA has no setup guy. Superman just blew a save. And now the Braves, one of the hottest teams in baseball, are coming to town. So this is going to get pretty interesting. And I'm sure that Odalis Perez was pretty happy about the way that game ended. He finally gets some offense, finally from his guys, including 3 jacks. He gives up a single earned run and gets nothing for it. Thanks for coming. He watches Jose Lima and Wilson Alvarez just rack wins. Odalis Perez can't be happy. I wouldn't be either. Back to the phones. Here's Chicago. Amy in Chicago. Great to have you on the show. Amy, how are you?
Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We're hearing a lot of rumors that you're going off the air here, and I want to know what we can do to stop this from happening, because it cannot happen. You make my day every day in the car. I'm already irritated that you missed your 3rd hour, so I silently protest ESPN Radio. I turn it off after 1 o'clock because we're already getting screwed. So what can we do? And if you do go off in Chicago, I'm buying satellite radio. Can I still get you on satellite radio?
You know what, Amy? First of all, thank you very much for the support. It means a lot to me. You cannot get me on satellite radio. Well, I even hesitate to say this because I don't want to go off the air in Chicago, and I've heard nothing new. But again, if you can't find the show, if you move, or if the show, for whatever reason, moves off a station, you need to go to our website and get Streamlink. You go to jimrome.com, and you can pull it up through your computer, and you can subscribe to that service. In terms of what you can do, you just need to make it clear to the radio station that you like the show, you like it where it is, you appreciate it, you listen to it, and you don't want it to go away. And you just find the program director, get him on the phone or send him an email and let him know. Again, I'm not going to fight this battle. I'm not looking to stir the pot or fight the battle, but it's coming up quite a bit because it showed up in a Chicago newspaper, and I know there's a conversation in Chicago. What's going to happen to the show? Where's it going to go? If you're curious about that, I really don't know. I can only say what I've said in the past. It took me a long, long time to get in Chicago. I want to be in Chicago for as long as I do this and do this show. The show is a much better show because of our Chicago listeners and Chicago teams. I don't want the thing to go. The Chicago station had me out to visit them and spend time in town. I had a great weekend. I don't want to lose that. And if your feeling is the same in that market, you want to go to the station and call them or email them or write them and say, look, don't mess with the show. Just leave it alone. We like it. And I appreciate the support, Amy. Thank you very much. As long as I'm there. I think I'm going to stay there. Got a car phone in Chicago. Mike. Good to have you, Mike. How are you?
Good. What's up, Tim? Thanks for the find.
You got it.
Hey, just wanted to talk about the Cubs. Went up to Miller Park last night and went to the game, and I got news for everyone. Not only are they not making a playoff run, if they do, they're not going to advance very far. We've got a bullpen sponsored by Shell Gasoline. They continue to go out there and give up lead after lead. And then we've got our clown out in right field who, you know, Sammy doesn't compete against the Cardinals, the Brewers, the Reds. He competes against Bozo or Blues Clues or whatever variety show happens to be on. And the sheep at Wrigley Field are happy as long as this guy hits a home run. He's never been a team guy. He's the worst right fielder in the major leagues. I want you to look back 2 years and tell me when the last time Sosa ever threw somebody out at home plate was. Because the answer will be never in the last 2 years. Then there's Dusty, who manages X and O's about as well as Oliver Miller managed his weight. Can't manage a game, continues to, he may be a great psychologist, he may have the guys rallying behind him, but he continues to make poor moves. And that's really about all I got to say. I want to say war Tyrone Willingham getting run from South Bend this year, and war my niece Addison. I'm out.
You know, I got to admit, after Ty Willingham's first year at Notre Dame, my feeling was he's going to win a national championship there. This guy's a born leader. He's a great coach. He's a class guy. He's going to turn this thing around. I might change he's going to win a national championship to he's going to get fired. It's one or the other. I don't think there's any doubt he's on the clock this year. Let's go back to Chicago. What he said was, and I appreciate the phone call, Mike, he said, look, even if they make the playoffs, they're going to get run, and they're not going to make the playoffs. I disagree. I still think for all the problems the Cubs have, namely their bullpen, the arsonists they have living out in their bullpen, namely their inability to catch and throw a baseball in the infield, I still think with the bats that they have, and more importantly with their rotation, in a short series, they're a bitch. You don't want to run to Chicago in a short series. You've got 5 quality arms. You can move a couple of them into the bullpen. That's the team nobody wants to play in a short series. Question is, are they going to make the playoffs? I said yesterday, and I'll say it again right now. There is no reason ever that Chicago should not be in the playoffs. They're better than San Francisco. They're better than San Diego. They're a better baseball team, period. They've got no excuse. Jim Henry made that blockbuster at the deadline to get Nomar Garciaparra. He makes them better. He makes their clubhouse better. There isn't a single reason why the Chicago Cubs should not be in the postseason. Of the teams competing for the wild card, they are clear and away the best team. They've got no reason not to. No reason not to. But they've got to get there to do damage. All right, we're going to come back with more. We're open phones in this hour. Mike Hampton, next hour. Tim Brown of the Buck, bullpen analyst. Centers for Disease and ERA Control. Excellent. That one's from Springfield. Everybody gets that story about the mother and crack. Yeah, I will in a minute. Let's go back to the phones instead. 1-800-636-8686. Mike in Kansas City. Hey, Mike. Nice to have you. What's up?
What's going on, Jim? I just want to tell you that was a great interview with Priest Holmes. And if you've ever met the guy, he's one of the greatest guys you'll ever meet. One thing I do want to know is what's this absolute occult fascination with Chicago and St. Louis? They're both toxic dumps in the Midwest. And the only thing that both these cities are known for is crime, crack, and having more black people than a Tarzan flick.
I mean, are you freaking kidding me? Are you absolutely out of your freaking head? Hey, don't call the show ever again. I don't need that crap on my radio show. What the hell is the matter with you? First Ray from KC and then that guy. I'm going to tell you something right now. And I'm not saying this for effect. Keep that garbage off of my radio show. Do not bring that crap to me. I don't want to hear it. I don't know why you think that I think that's okay. I don't know why you would think that I condone that. I don't know why you think I think that's funny, but I don't. Take that garbage somewhere else. Do not bring that crap to me. I work too hard and I care too much about this show for you to bring me down. Nobody wants to hear it. It's not funny. Get that garbage out of here. Next, let's go to Mike in Providence. Mike, how you doing, Mike?
Not bad, Romy. Greetings from the land of the Chowd.